Hey, we say what's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media, coming at you with another team preview video today. We just did Ohio State. Probably get that one out first, and then we'll see which one uploads first, I guess. But want to go ahead and knock out some of these playoff teams, and we're going through and looking at every team this offseason to get you ready for 2025 football. All right, so we know what Notre Dame did last year, and the funny thing is they only had one loss up until the national title. What's also funny is who they lost to. It's also pretty funny how that particular team was actually one of the better teams in the group of five. And as soon as Notre Dame started making this deep playoff run, it kind of went away. So it's not really something you can point and laugh at this point, but they did lose to NIU, Northern Illinois, and it was embarrassing. But what I love is the story of Notre Dame and how they were able to overcome that this year. So what did they do? Well, they beat pretty handily Texas A&M. Then they lose the game to NIU. Then they bounce back. They were just call it what it is. They were ticked off, and they beat Purdue 66-7. Miami of Ohio 28-3, 31-24 against Louisville. Stanford, Georgia Tech, and Navy. Navy was a good team this year, I thought. 51-14 back in October. They blew out Florida State. Who did it? 52, 52-3. Golly. Army. Hey, thank you. Oh, I should have done that for Navy as well. Nothing but love and respect. Love all the service academies. Always pulling for them no matter who they play. But they handled Army 49-14, 49-35 against USC. Then they get to the CFP. They beat Indiana. They beat Georgia in a blowout. They play a close one in the semifinal against Penn State, but they hit the field goal to win it. Uh, and then they get to the Natty, of course, and it was 34-23 on Monday night. So a lot of people wanted both teams to have lost the championship, but it was Ohio State, and I was happy for either team either way. I was kind of pulling for Notre Dame, though. Y'all let me down. But now we get into 2025. We turn the page here, and we go ahead and we look at the schedule. And this is going to be a good one. And again, 14-2 overall, 16 games. Northern Illinois, and then a national championship loss for Notre Dame last year. All right. Miami on the road to open things up. Where's the big eyes emoji? Like, I see you. I see what you've done here. That's going to be a game to circle week one. Then they get a bye week. It doesn't say that they're off, but technically, would that not be September 6th, the following Saturday? Yeah, I think it would. Texas A&M, Purdue, both at home, back-to-back weeks. Then they go to Arkansas, Boise State, a playoff team, USC, who didn't really come close to the playoffs, but it could be an improved team under Lincoln Riley this next year. We'll see. And then a week or two in between. They haven't figured out this whole schedule yet. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to back out of this. I'm already recording. I'm already doing this. Let's just consider, forget how the schedule's laid out. What are the chances Notre Dame this next year loses these games? Again, I haven't seen anybody declare for the draft yet. Supposedly, it's supposed to be Leonard and Love and all these guys, most likely. But who knows? Guys come back for year 4, year 5, and they want to win a championship. And we'll keep an eye on that this next week and everything like that. I love Marcus Freeman. I love his heart, his passion for football, everything he means to Notre Dame and everything. I love it. Just going off an educated guess here. I think they should have no problem with this schedule. Again, some of these dates for ACC teams are to be announced because of the ACC schedule. But they should have no problem with these 4 games, right? Syracuse at home, NC State at home, winnable games. Boston College, Bill O'Brien, we'll see. We'll see what they look like. I don't know what to make of them yet. They did okay this past year. I'll give them credit. Did okay. Uh, they did have a bowl game, but Notre Dame should be better than that. They should be better than Pitt. Let's say they win all 4 of those. Then you get into what's already on the schedule. August 30th, I look at these and I say the most losable games, I think, are early on. I say be careful with Arkansas on the road. It's tough in the SEC environments. It is. Boise State could be pretty good this next year, but they are losing star running back Ashton Genty, and USC really, really good under Lincoln Riley. I say really, really good. They're okay. I don't know. But Notre Dame is going to have an interesting season. Uh, again, another year of being an independent football team, no conference title. Got to play your cards right. They they took that loss to Northern Illinois and they looked phenomenal after that. So could they early on drop a game, lay an egg, Texas A&M or somebody? Could they do that and then run the table? They could. What if they lost to Arkansas? What if that's their only loss? Are they making the playoffs again? Maybe, possibly. It depends on how they look the rest of these games. Miami Notre Dame to open the season is going to look awesome. I think it's at Miami, supposed to be a home and home opening type game. Texas A&M. I mean, again, what do you make of Mike Elko? Again, a team that we haven't looked at yet. So I don't know. I have a lot of question marks on this. But I personally, my best judgment is they had won the A&M game to open the season last year 23-13 by 10. It was a night game in College Station. Being at home, now Texas A&M could go to Notre Dame and win, but it's also possible and most likely that Notre Dame at home is going to win that game. So you have that. Purdue, I'm not a big believer in Purdue. I'm sorry. I'm just not. They are bad. They are terrible. Notre Dame's going to win that big time. So you'll get that. I'm going to say they beat Arkansas. I'm going to say they probably beat Boise State. I see a really good year here. And I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to be a big believer in USC this next year, and I just have a gut feeling about Lincoln Riley this next season with all the talent he has offensively, and it could be one of the more productive offenses in the Big Ten. And I think you're going to see that on display. I really do. Notre Dame 2025 season preview. It's just hard to find much room for error, but you got to find a little bit of error. And if I had to throw this out at you in a record prediction, at most, I say 10-2. At most 10-2. Losses, they're hard to pick out. It's really not that easy. But my gut says you probably lose on the road to Miami early in the season and USC mid-October at home. Now, let's say you win against USC. What would be a second loss? Arkansas, late September, Boston College on the road, Navy, Boise State at home in October. There's a couple different games you could lose. Like you could easily, if you really messed up, you could mess around with 9-3 and miss it all and just settle for a bowl. That's cold. That's tough. I I'm not wishing that on anybody like Notre Dame though. I'm just not. I'm being honest. But they could easily mess this up. I don't think that's going to happen. because I'd like to believe that they return some good talent next year and they bounce back. Maybe not win a championship, but they learn from their mistakes of the national title game in the Northern Illinois loss, and they say, "We're gonna have a little bit of a better regular season and stuff. We're gonna try to." So I go 10-2 here for Notre Dame, losses to Miami and USC. That's my assessment of Notre Dame 2025. Congrats on a great season in 2024. A lot of us hate it for you that you couldn't win that game. But then there's also people out there that say, can they both lose? And can we just go to World War III or something? Like some people were actually on Twitter hating on these teams on Monday night. That was so crazy. I'm like, I don't hate them that much. But nah, I was pulling for Notre Dame, man. I was pulling for Marcus Freeman. I think he's done a fantastic job. And honestly, with all respect here, like I love Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame to have great success going forward. But you're gonna have some ups and downs, and I can't see you winning 11 games again. I just can't. You could. It wouldn't shock me. I personally don't see it. And again, I say Miami on the road and USC at home midseason, I think is probably what you're looking at for the losses. Anyway, that's my assessment. Love you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Jesus loves you. Keep your head up. God bless. And we'll see you next time here at Ballard Sports Media. Have a good one.